The holidays are almost here, and there's plenty of t-shirt cheer thanks to our sponsor, True Classic Tees. Fellas, we have the perfect gift for your wish list. True Classic Tees are a gift for you, for her, and a great present for any guy in your life. True Classic is on a mission to maximize men's confidence by making them look good. Trust me when I say it, this is a gift that the ladies will appreciate too. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men look great in their tees, and now you can save big while you do so. Get 25% off True Classic with our exclusive link, trueclassic.com/CU podcast. And the discount doesn't stop there. You'll save even more during their site-wide sale. Support the podcast and check them out at trueclassic.com/CU podcast.
If you're looking a little bit like Santa, True Classic might be the Christmas miracle you've been waiting for. Almost all men's t-shirts are designed to look good on certain body types, while True Classic's team designed t-shirts to make the fellas of all sizes out there feel confident and comfortable in their clothing. I never like shopping for t-shirts. I hate it. It's nice to have this website. You got them all right there. Your sizes, your colors, they're comfortable and they fit great. These tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. It's a good look for everyone. Whether it's the gym or a casual date, there's no better look than a fresh tee. They offer other menswear too, ranging from polos to workout shirts, boxer briefs. These are all designed to keep you feeling nice and comfortable. They make it super easy to build out your wardrobe with their elite True Classic quality. They have a pack builder on their website where you can customize the bundle you want and save even more. And for my big guys out there, they have long options for the tall guys in up to triple XL sizes. True Classic also makes the perfect gift or stocking stuffer for all men in your life. Dad bods, we've got you covered. Rip bods, gotcha. Your average Joes, absolutely. Get yourself or someone you love the #1 gift on Santa's list. It's a gift for you, but really a gift for her.
Get 25% off at trueclassic.com/CU podcast. Free shipping is included on purchases over $100. That's 25% off at trueclassic.com/CU podcast. Santa won't be the only one slaying, thanks to True Classic. Ian.
Yes, sir.
Do you think digital games will take over in a few years?
Yes.
As per this article on IGN.
Where did my article
from
go?
Logan Plant?
Yeah. So there were some things that were interesting in here that I wanted to cover. A lot of it is pretty basic and it's stuff that we've covered before. But they talk about how, starting in 2013, I think, the sales report for that generation, the sales showed a 10 to 13% purchase of 10 to 13% of the market covered by digital.
So about 10-90 split, digital and physical. About 10 years ago. Okay, 9 years ago.
With the start of the current generation, that was already up to a 50-50 split.
So a couple years ago.
Yeah, just a couple years ago. Last year, I think, is what he's referring to. 50-50 split.
Well, they started selling the consoles at the end of...
God, that's right. The consoles have already been out for 2 fucking years.
It was December 2020.
Yeah, wow.
November, yeah. So up to 2 years ago, it was 50-50. Obviously, by now, it's probably eclipsed. It's now maybe 60-40, 55-45, Pat math.
And it talks it talks a little bit about how this, came to be. Obviously, COVID is a pretty big factor, but they go on to say that it's certainly not the entire factor, and things were getting that way even before COVID. I think it's really just digital is extremely convenient. Lots of places have high-speed internet now. We're downloading these games. Even the biggest ones, maybe an hour and a half, couple hours, depending on your connection. You don't have to go anywhere. And, I think just the basic convenience and the increase in hard drive sizes, plus I think people's experience with PC gaming now transfers over to consoles. They're more used to, I think more people are occasionally playing games on PC now, and that's all digital. It kind of makes sense for the computer or for the console. As they become more like computers, you look at them more like that too. You just download the games to your system. You're good to go. Buybacks, trade-ins have never been good. Everyone always complained about buyback prices at GameStop, to the point where I think some people would rather have the convenience of just having the games downloaded, rather than, maybe being able to sell them off for $5 later.
Sure.
I also think COVID, not just because it was safer to just do digital, obviously, during shutdown. A big reason why, digital got popular then was, you didn't have to go anywhere. You didn't have to put yourself at risk. But I think a lot of people stuck in their apartments and their homes looking around start to see that they have all this shit. And, COVID is showing them that they don't need these physical copies anymore. People start offloading physical copies, and then you end up, now where people are, getting back out into society, and they've changed the way they live pretty significantly over the past 2 years. And I just don't think a lot of people see the need to go to the store to do the shopping when you can do it from your couch.
There's a lot going on here. It would have increased regardless of COVID.
Yes, absolutely.
Sony and Microsoft have their digital only versions of consoles. Well, it's Microsoft. Does Sony have theirs too?
Anyway. Yeah, so there's a PS5 with no disc.
So they already were gearing up for that before COVID. Like, it was planned. It was in place before they came out.
Yes.
They said, okay, we're going to incentivize you to get off physical by charging whatever it was, $100 less per console. That's a lot of money to some people. That's a lot. $100 is not a small chunk of change to some people.
That's a game and half of a controller. Like, that's big.
That's significant, especially if you're like saving up. If you're like someone in your 20s, or
that makes it a Christmas gift to someone as opposed to just a console they can't do anything with.
Say you're like a single income household. You have only mom, and only dad, or only dad's working. That's a lot of money, $100 to do that. So there you go. So that's like the start of, like, you don't need physical anymore. The companies are literally telling you, you don't need physical games anymore. We are incentivizing you not to do it, because obviously they get a bigger cut of digital versus in the store. It's less, there's no production costs, things like that. That's the first step. We used to always opine, probably even like 6-7 years ago, these digital games are always the same price as the physical games. Why the hell should you buy digital games? That's changed. Now there's a lot more sales, a lot quicker on digital games.
They still come out at the retail price, but if you wait, I mean, I don't even check anymore because I rarely use my PS4, but like Sony, I should have looked at their Black Friday. I mean, they slash the prices on those fucking games.
Nintendo now even has sales on stuff.
Once in a while, $40, but
they do.
They do, which is not something they ever did.
But now they are, because even they probably realize, hey, we can be protective of our prices, but we're still making probably the same amount of profit at $40 digital versus a $60 physical. It's probably just about the same amount of money to us potentially, that we're fine doing that. So that's the tipping point. That's it. When people actually start seeing, well, Ian, yeah, I can't trade it in the game anymore, but that's not going to matter if I'm paying $30 less.
Sure.
That's it. That's what people need. That's the push. And we're not even talking about, stuff like PS Now, Microsoft Game Pass. When I look at that, if I was like a 20-year-old, I'd be like, I'll never buy a game at $60 ever again. I'll just spend whatever it is a month. What is it? $10-15 a month?
$15 a month.
$15 a month. And I'll never, I may never get my fill of games ever. And obviously, a long term, that could be very harmful to the industry, as we've seen. And
we've discussed that, yeah.
As it's been with movies, it's been terrible for stifling creativity with streaming content versus the death of physical media, and with movie theaters, it's been awful for that, getting rid of that revenue stream, and it's going to be to some extent as bad for that as well. The one caveat, though, is it's a lot cheaper to make smaller video games than it is smaller movies. A small movie still takes tens of millions of dollars. A small game doesn't. So that's the one thing where it probably won't be eliminated the same. Like this, the medium-sized movies are basically gone at this point. For video games, I don't think it's going to have that same effect. There'll still be.
I feel like we're already seeing a lot of medium-sized games gone. Like I've talked about that. The single A or triple B titles that used to fill shelves in the 360 and PS3, they're already largely gone.
I think there'll still be a place for them. I still think they'll be supported by larger studios to extent, or maybe Sony and Microsoft throwing money at them to get them exclusive on their platforms, or Epic Game Store. But anyway, so that's the difference. Speaking of Epic Game Store, and them giving away games for free, freaking Star Wars Squadrons is free right now. You have until 2 days to get it, Ian. You might as well get it. So like all these things being done, they're throwing money at you or free stuff at you to get you to do digital. It's free games. Why wouldn't you do it? Or they're decreasing the prices where, okay, even if I wait like 3 months, I can get a discount on this digital game. And obviously, they don't care. They're still making a lot of money. And the The publishers don't care that much because they're still getting a pretty good cut, and it's increasing awareness by doing the sales in and of themselves. I don't know some of these games until they go out sale. Oh, that's on sale. Okay, maybe I'll check it out. So
I haven't checked this in a while, so
one?
it's interesting. Xbox Game Pass. I have it. I just haven't checked it in a while.
it's like Netflix. You have it, you take it for granted. And you
Yeah.
don't.
There's some stuff on here that I'd like to play. So
Exactly. So it's all these factors that I think it'll take over. It's not going to eliminate it. Physical games will not be eliminated for at least this generation, at least. But I don't mean this console generation. I mean like physical human generation. It'll always be around because we're not the only. Like I said, there's second world countries out there that are still building up infrastructure.
Yeah.
That's going to take 30, 40 years. But yes. Yeah, I'm surprised it's probably more than 50-50 by now. You said it was 50-50 like by a couple years
they
ago.
said, yeah, at the launch of that generation,
It's
they were
absolutely
saying 50-50.
maybe 60-40 by now. It has to be.
I just we've kicked the can down the hallway on GameStop so many times, but I feel like this. I mean, it's
They got a reprieve from the meme stock bullshit.
Yes.
But like this is it.
But that's it.
There's no games to sell back to them.
Yeah, they're back. Yeah, there's no games to sell back. The games don't have fucking anything on them anymore. So
That's true too. So yeah, you can buy the game that has an installation file on it. 10 years from now, but you can't. They're gonna have to. GameStop's gonna have to have warning labels on games if they're still around 10 years ago. Hey, you can buy this from us, but it won't function anymore. Like that's gonna be a fucking nightmare to deal with that. You imagine that? How they even like they're going to be gone by then? I think they're not going to exist. There'll be like 150 of them left. We'll just say in other nations. They won't be here probably at that point. Imagine training someone. Oh, you can't accept that trade-in on this game for PS5 because the servers aren't here anymore. What? It's going to have to be in their system every single game. They're going to have to update that in their system every month, probably. You know.
I think there are a few games that have come out in the past few years that they didn't accept trade backs on because of how like the games as service stuff. Like I don't think they took back certain Destinies. Anyways, they're on their way.
In Sony's, this is from the article, in Sony's full game software results for the 3 quarters of the current fiscal year, digital sales accounted for 74%, 59%, and 53% of overall sales. So that's past the tipping point.
Yeah.
That's way past it. Nintendo's digital sales were lower, still large, 41%, which was an increase of 12.3%. Nintendo's always physical first. It's just built into, I guess, the ethos of Nintendo for some reason. So that's going to be slower. But their digital sales increase was 105% when compared to 2019. So that's doubling year over year for right there. So that's significant. That's significant. And then this article has they're talking to people in the industry, veterans, about what their thoughts are. But like we said, it even says in the article, rising digital numbers do not necessarily spell doom for physical games. They'll be around.
Yes.
You'll be able to buy them, but they're not going to be pumped up to the same numbers. They're not going to be produced to the same numbers. They just won't.
No,
you know what I mean?
and the thing is places like Walmart and Target will continue to sell them because it makes sense to sell them as part of something else.
Yes.
But you're not the need for focused physical game stores is going to, obviously this does not mean retro and used game stores, but like the corporate games, there's just no need for them.
Yes, because part of this will be there's politics involved. The big box retailers will go to Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo and be like, you got to produce some of these, because we have to sell these consoles as well. And people will be less likely to walk in and buy these consoles. We want to do the add-ons. It'll be part of the whole package. Yes, it's a smaller profit margin, but it's probably part of the whole thing. You can't I can't picture them having display areas in the future where there'll just be literally a corner of the console and just the controllers and no games.
Right.
That'd be bizarre.
Right. It would be.
It would not look like a sellable, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be look a healthy like ecosystem for them to even put in their stores, if that makes sense.
When you think about it, though, it's like video game stores. So many other industries and what's the word I'm looking for? Markets, demographics. Basically, very few things that you need to go buy have standalone stores anymore, because you can get your kitchenware at Target, you can get your shoes at Target, you can get your underwear at Target, you can get everything at Target. Same thing with Walmart and stuff like that. All these department stores kind of cater to one thing, that it feels weird to go to a store just for video games.
Sure. Sure. So let's see. One of the S's was 6 or 7 years. It'll be all digitals. A couple people are mostly digital. It's never going to be all digital, but yeah, it might be. What do you want to say? It's going to be 90% at some point, 85%. We'll just say like 80% to me will be like the point where it's like the vast majority, because again, taking into account other parts of the world and things like that. Yeah, check out the article. It's interesting. There's also they say they might pull the plug. Some publishers pulling the plug in physical game production entirely. I don't see that happening.
No, neither do I.
You're leaving money on the table doing that. You're unnecessarily leaving money on the table. I don't see that happening. That's where I would disagree with some industry, quote unquote, veterans or experts on that. That doesn't make any sense because, like I said, digital infrastructure is not the same worldwide. It's not the same in the military, forward operating bases. Satellite internet is spotty and it's not as fast, things like that. So, any other takeaways from this, or?
No, I think we covered it. I think we really nailed that article. We did a great job.
We did a great job. And again, this has nothing to do. We're not. we have not said whether this is good or bad for game preservation. That's a totally different conversation. We're just talking about where.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying this is good or bad. I'm just saying this is where I think
this is where it's headed. This is where it's headed.